Today's youth need teachers, volunteers, and most of all, well, they need you. I'm Doug Edwards, and I'm going to be talking with real youth mentors and students to give you the knowledge you need to be the best youth worker possible. This is Youth Worker on Fire. This is Doug Edwards with Youth Worker on Fire. I'm going to give you some exciting news, and that is start looking around November 11th for my new book called Burn Up, Not Out. So take a look at that. Amazon, it's going to be Amazon for print and ebook. When you get the book, it will help you out. And if you're not a youth worker or volunteer or youth pastor, then buy one for someone else that is. There's other points in there that whether you're a youth pastor or not, you're going to get some things out of it. But here is some answers to the imposter syndrome so that you can start working on your imposter syndrome, which we covered last, which is thinking that somebody's going to find you out no matter how qualified you are for a position. Something inside you keeps saying, I'm just not all that. I'm not what everybody thinks I am. And so the imposter syndrome haunts a lot of people, and no one talks about it because they think they're the only one believing that they seem like or feel like an imposter, even though they're not. So here's some answers on how to overcome that. One is listen to podcasts or YouTubes on people who got through it and how they did it. My answer was JLD, EO Fire, and the list goes on with many, many people that did that. Michael Helms also produced several podcasts of his own and got me into podcasting. Number two, find your deepest fear that you know is false on starting XYZ and dive in head first and burn the boat or safety line. I listed 70 people I wanted to interview in 2 weeks, sent a standard text of invitation and schedule sign up. And when I pushed send, thought I was going to lose my mind. What have I done? What do I think? Who do I think I am? Imposter syndrome coming through. I ended up interviewing in 2 weeks, 18 people. Best decision ever. Number three, turn on the voices in your life that believe in you and will encourage you. Turn all other voices off. There's always critics. 4, constantly reach for higher goals that will dwarf all previous syndromes and begin to squish future ones, or at least identify them. Number 5, find people smarter and more achieved than you and spend time in those rooms. Remember, they have faced or are facing their own imposter syndrome, but they've overcome it or they wouldn't achieve, or at least on some levels, or they keep overcoming it, or they wouldn't have achieved what they achieved. You might want to pay for their lunch or offer them $100 like Dr. John Maxwell did when he was doing certain interviews. If you don't have that kind of money, then do whatever you can do. Number 6, get the endorphin high. 1.5 miles, the endorphins would kick in, and I would feel like life was good again, great again, when I would run 1.5 miles. Don't do that anymore. I do other things, but that's what I did for many years of my life. And I could face anything after I did that. Depression, anything like that would just kind of disappear once I hit that 1.5 mile mark. 2 places I have gotten that consistently, running and being at 10,000 feet in the Rockies. My policy, stay on the slopes until they shut it down. The imposter syndrome passes after the first hour, and then I ski for 5 more. 7, ask yourself, whose lives will I change if I achieve what is in me? Who will not get the help they need if I quit now? And lastly, number 8, find people whose dreams are bigger and scarier than yours, and spend time with them if you can catch them. That is because they're really busy. Sometimes those people really scare me. I want those types of people because if they're not, and I say scary, some people say, you don't mean scary. Yes, I do. I mean scary because if I were to try to take on their dreams, it would scare me to death. But being in the presence of those people who dream much bigger than me makes me go the distance in at least my own dreams. They may be less than these guys, or I may end up doing more than they do because I've got the vision and saw that it can be done. I'm going to text one of them right now. I wrote this a while back, and I did text that person, and he started listing some things that were just super amazing to me on what he was doing at that time, and it was literally going to be nationally impacting stuff, a movie that he was creating and producing at that moment. So call those people in your life that you already know. If not, start reaching out to people you don't know. Talking about scary, it's going to scare you, but you know what? That's how you overcome the imposter syndrome. Youth Worker Nation, go buy my book, Amazon, Kindle Publishing. Have a great day. This is Doug Edwards with Youth Worker on Fire.
You've been listening to the Youth Worker on Fire podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and tell your friends. Also, leave a comment and tell us what you think. Stay tuned for more informative episodes.